But listen, I have my list, and I have my list. I have this animal and this animal. She said, we're not here for that. I said, what? She said, we're here just specifically to check on these animals. I said, are you out of your frickin' mind? I have been here dealing with these animals. I have these animals. You need to take them. I have a dog whose head's split open. I have a dog who has a broken leg. I have a dog that's so frickin' cut that I worked it and I wrapped it, but you need to take these animals. She said, well, we're not here for that. I said, I don't give a frick what you're here for. And she looks at the cops. They turn their back on her. That because he knew what I'd been through. He turned his back on her. She said, fine, show us where these other animals are first, and then let's look at your animals. So I rode my motorcycle. They followed me in this truck, and we went to the place where it was a beach house. It was non-existent. There were no houses there anymore. There were barely any scraps of wood, where there were piles closer in. There was nothing there. They said, okay. They looked, and then I took them, and it was funny because my motorcycle can go over everything, but this truck couldn't, so it took them forever. They went from place to place picking up animals for me. The deal is they never touched any of them. I got the animals. They got a crate out. I went and got the animals and put them in for them. We went to the next place. They never touched them. They got the crate out. I took the animals, put them in for them. I was so pissed off because there were so many animals that really, if these were really vets, not duded up assistants or whatever they were, but they would have, looked at the animals that I thought were in almost critical shape, but they didn't. That's the FEMA that I encountered. The only other time I saw anything about FEMA, and I hate to keep bagging on FEMA, but
no, a lot of people have issues with them. A lot of people have issues with the way they handle things.
9 months later, I was there right before the next season, hurricane season, and over at emergency communities, and they were right down the street. Well, we drove over because we needed something from them, and they were taking down their tent. FEMA wasn't there. The trailer was locked up, and they were taking down the big tent. So I asked the guys taking down the tent, what's up with, are you guys moving? He said, oh, we're leaving because, it's almost hurricane season. I thought, are you kidding me? The hell's wrong with you people? This is what you do. This is what you're here for. I'm not saying stand here and weather a hurricane, but there was no hurricane in sight. So I'm a little frustrated with that. I also wrote an open letter you'll find on the web.
God help us all.
Oh yeah, because the helicopters during the I'm going to say about I don't know, it's in the letter, probably 6th or 7th day. The helicopters are going past, but nobody's stopping. If the president and all these people viewing from above and complaining about what's your fault, it's your fault. Well, this levee, that levee, who gives a shit? Get in there, get your boots on, get a shovel, and help people out. That was what we really needed. Down in the 9th Ward, there were tour buses coming through months later.
That's
tour
obnoxious.
Buses. Church tour buses. And the people were looking. They never stepped off the bus. There were people there trying to go through their homes and find what they could. If one person would get off of that tour bus and help that one guy, and the other guys would get off and help one guy, whatever it is they were doing, looking for stuff, cleaning up stuff, whatever, this thing would get saddled, but they didn't. They were viewers. It was like a movie for them. And that frustrated the crap out of me.
What happened with regard to water delivery and, how people can go days without eating or they can eat very little or have scraps, but they can't do that with water and hydration. What happened with water and how was it delivered?
Well, the truth is I can't tell you because I don't know. In the past, the military brought water, and there were very few people still there. But the people there were, they supplied them with food and water. MREs, everybody got MREs. And it's a meal ready-made or something like that. Or ready to eat, I guess is what it is. But I had water. I got it from where the military was. And by the time I got down to emergency communities, they too had these trucks already installed there with water and food.
Who sets up the emergency communities? Is it something that just kind of comes together organically, or what is it?
Yeah, emergency communities was actually a group of people. What happened was, for me, when I was finished with my work in the past, I went online and saw that this group was there, and actually started talking to a friend of mine who was there working with them, and another friend of mine who's actually a chef in Santa Monica. He was there cooking the meals. So I just went over to where they were and hooked up with them.
Did you see a lot of blankets being delivered, or people tend to, in disasters, need blankets?
They need blankets. They need shoes. They need, how do you say this delicately? A lot of people had like athlete's foot and crotch rot.
Yeah.
Okay. Those sort of things. We had a lot of that. Emergency communities had a lot of, again, we would wash their clothes. We had showers. We had these sun showers set up. So the people, again, they would come in if they could. And if we couldn't, I gave a lot of people a lot of rides. If I found somebody in my area where I was hanging out and working, I would just take them over. And again, they could take a shower, get some new clothes, get fed 3 meals a day. And they would come, they'd hang, and then we would take them back. There were people living on their porches with tarps over them and sleeping there. I think mostly they were afraid to leave their homes because they were afraid that somebody would take their stuff or, mess with their stuff, what was left. But that, I didn't see that as an issue. You would hear about it on the news. The news is really great at making Americans afraid of Americans, which is a huge,
it's an opportunity for a disconnect instead of a connect.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Things tend to be focused on in the news that expand and escalate.
Oh, they like to
pieces
get you
of
angry
things,
and excited.
Yeah.
But the truth is that wasn't the reality of what I dealt with down there. It was people helping people.
When did you know it was time for you to pack up and go back home?
No, there wasn't a time. What happened was once you've done the emergency stuff, then really people need other people with an outside perspective to tell them it's okay, that it's going to be okay, that it's going to change, that the whole world didn't collapse, just this small area. Because that to remind them that this is just this for the moment, that it's going to get better. This isn't out there. The world is still churning. Because I noticed that the people that had gone through this, they thought the entire world was gone, and for them, it kind of was. But hope. All these people. That's what the groups that came from outside to help. They brought hope. They reminded them that everything's going to be okay. I saw that in huge numbers with the massages they were giving, with they'd sit and talk with these people. And we're talking about hippies from California, or different places. But for me, it was all these California kids. What I did was I left in October. I saw online, this is so odd. You're going to think I'm a crazy person, but I saw online that I thought I'd go up to New York because one, I have a lot of friends up there, a lot of Harley. I ride a Harley, and I'm involved with a lot of Harley groups. But I had some friends up there that were bikers, and what I did is I went to Long Island. If you go on Craigslist on Long Island, people at 60,000 miles, they sell their cars cheaply, because 60,000 miles on Long Island is a lot of miles. It's a lot of years to take. It takes them a lot of years to get 60,000 miles on a car on Long Island. Here in LA, it's a whole nother thing. But I went to Long Island. The first car I bought was an Isuzu Trooper. And so I bought it for $750. That was the most expensive car I bought. I bought a little, I don't know, Saturn something for $327. It didn't back up, but I took it over to the guys. Wait. I took it to the guys, and they fixed it. Everything I bought was fixed by the guy, by this group of Harley riders. And I drove it down, hitting garage sales all the way down. I got shoes, I got blankets. People gave them to me for free. I didn't buy anything. I would stop at a garage sale, and I'd say, I'm going down to New Orleans, and could I have these blankets? Could I have these shoes? Whatever they needed, not tchotchkes, not crap, but the things that I knew that they needed from being down there. And I would take it, I would give the car away, and take JetBlue, fly back up, buy another car.